We start tonight with someone that I've worked with pretty closely over the last 2 years, Camille Gear. Just a little bit. Camille Gear is joining us. Is it hard to believe, first of all, that you've been here for 2 years?
Oh my gosh. I just like the other day when I feel like I put it on social media that I was leaving, I'm like, 2 years went by in a blink of an eye. Like it felt like the other day we were doing this of like, hey, you're the new girl.
Right.
You know, let's get to know the new girl.
Well, you started here, it was cold and snowy.
Yeah.
You're leaving here and it's cold,
and
snowy. So you get to bookend your time here.
I know,
so.
I said that, you know, this was the Quad City's goodbye gift to me. Let's have the most snow ever, because you know how much Camille hates the cold.
So I want to talk about some of the things that you have enjoyed here in the Quad Cities. And we'll first talk professionally, the things you've got to cover, the things you've been able to do. So let's start with your favorite local sports team.
Favorite local sports team? I mean, I think as far as sports run goes, obviously Moline winning a state championship was great last year, but Pleasant Valley girls basketball definitely has a special place in my heart. I did a story on Hallie Weiss and Quinn Weiss, sisters that are opposite yet equal at the same time.
Right.
And yeah, to cover Pleasant Valley's first ever state title was just like such a fun experience to be up there all week and to see all their hard work. I mean, a perfect season that's quite literally impossible to do, and they made the possible happen. So it was a lot of fun to see them finally be able to put on the medals, the pink shirts, the whole nine. So that's got to be up there. And I've just become so close with that team. Obviously, the Weiss sisters, Coach Getz is amazing, Reagan Pagnano is amazing, Jesse Clemens. So
when you came here, did you anticipate things like this when you first started?
Absolutely. I mean, I think I want to expect greatness out of our teams, right?
Sure.
We want them to win state championships. Makes our job a heck of a lot more fun.
Absolutely.
But I don't know that maybe I thought that I would cover so many state champions across the board. I mean, you've got wrestling, soccer, softball, basketball.
Right.
I think the only one I didn't have while I was here was football, which is kind of crazy.
Which is crazy. We haven't had a football winner. I think 2019 was the last time. So
well, I guess we had 8-man last year.
8-man winner, yes, with West Central. All right, so let's move on. How about your favorite event that you got to cover?
Gosh, there's so many. But I think, you know, I went to Tennessee. The Vol in me has to say,
of course,
what I just did 2 weeks ago, going to Orlando. That's the first time I had been to Orlando since I was maybe 21 or maybe even before that. So it had been, you know, 6-7 years. I hadn't covered Tennessee since I graduated. Well, I covered them in Kentucky maybe once, but I hadn't covered Vol football since I think 2019, so it had been a long time. And you know, everyone was asking me, who are you rooting for? And I'm like, well, you know, with our job, we can't really root, but you can bet your bottom dollar every single time Rocky Top was playing, I was singing along.
I know I texted you that day that they played on New Year's Day, and that was the first thing you said is, I got to hear Rocky Top again. That was pretty exciting. That
was the best, and you know, walking up and down the sidelines, just beep bopping, home sweet home to me. Woo! You know, that's what I was doing all day.
But you enjoyed covering the Hawkeyes too,
of course.
Regardless of what whether they won or lost, obviously there was a lot of things that went into. There was the gambling scandal, the
Brian Ferentz, I mean, the whole, from covering All-Americans to an offensive coordinator that leaves in the middle of the season, safeties, punts, I mean, everything in between. I mean, this job has given me so much. I got to go cover a game at Wrigley Field. Not many people can say that. I got to go to Wisconsin and see Jump Around this year. Got to cover 2 All-Americans this year, last year with Jack Campbell too. So, I mean, people like to make jokes about Iowa football, but honestly, they make it a lot of fun.
All right, so your favorite event that you got to cover?
Favorite event? There's been so many, but I think crossover at Kinnick has got to be up there. I mean, you see 56,000 people come out for women's basketball. It's special. It was one of those, I think, moments that, you know, the national anthem plays, and that's usually like, if I'm gonna tear up, that's usually the time, because you finally get a moment to take it in. You know, our job is so hectic 24/7 that sometimes you don't get to enjoy while it's happening. So I think the national anthem, I kind of looked around and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing. And Iowa women's basketball has just been so much fun for me. The Indiana game last year when Caitlin Clark had the buzzer beater, College Game Day was there, Elle Duncan was there. I mean, that was just one of the funnest times of my life. And then, you know, they win back-to-back games in Iowa City. They go to Seattle. They win their first round there. Then they beat Louisville to head to the Final Four. And it was just like, it was really cool. And then we go to Dallas and they beat #1 South Carolina. And then while I'm there, I get to cover Bree Beal. So it's just, I remember I was looking at pictures from their run a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, This was amazing. Like, you look back and I'm like, I can't even believe I got to do that. But at the same time, I'm like, that was exhausting.
And it was one of those things, but probably 2 years of doing this, you're like, I don't know what's ahead for me. And you got to cover some really cool things, great people, great things like that. So professionally, got to do a lot. But I want to find out a little bit more Quad City-wise, personally, what you enjoy. So I'm going to have to ask you, first of all, favorite restaurant?
Ooh, favorite restaurant. It's probably
So let's do this. Favorite sit-down restaurant first.
Sit down. Okay.
Yeah.
There's probably a tie.
Okay.
As far as breakfast food, Brew has
Okay.
this like breakfast sandwich that is my favorite. It's so good. And then a restaurant that you went to recently.
I did.
Takes the cake. Monarch is like one of my favorites. I brought my parents there when they visited a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, and they loved it. So those are probably my two favorites.
I'm pretty sure we're going to go there sometime this week. You, me, and Matt. One last dinner, one last lunch, whatever it will be. All right, favorite ice cream?
Whitey's. Duh. It's got to be Whitey's.
I'm just making sure. So we've had this talk a few times. What do you get when you go to Whitey's?
Well, okay, maybe this is controversial, but I remember my first summer here, our news director bought everyone chippers, and I'm like, what the heck's a chipper? Like, I've never had that before. And I remember like eating a bite, and I'm like, this is amazing. So no, I've never gotten like the normal ice cream at Whitey's because I'm perfectly content with a chipper. I love them.
Favorite place to get coffee?
I mean, I'm a Starbucks girly, unfortunately. Like, I wish I did the local coffee, but I don't really drink coffee. It's usually like a refresher or something like that. Everyone loves Atomic, and I've had that once. Okay. It was really good.
Last one. Team Kory, Team Matt. No, don't answer. Don't answer that.
Both. How about that? That's my PC answer.
Will you miss the snow?
Okay, I will miss the snow, which is something crazy I never thought I would say, solely for the fact that my dog is obsessed with the snow, and it's really fun to go play with her in it. But as far as driving in the snow, absolutely not. I will not miss that.
All right, well, you have 5 days left with us. We're excited about that. Your last day will be Friday, the 19th. One more score, so we'll have a lot of fun on that night as well.
Absolutely.
It's been a lot of fun working with you.
It's been so much fun.
All right.